Chapter 16. Kit. I pull out my phone. I text my mother. One word and a question mark. Why? She writes back immediately. Mom, let's do this in person. Me. No, just tell me. Simple question. Mom, it's complicated. Me. Try me. Mom, you won't understand. Me. Never mind. Mom. I was lonely and stupid, but mostly lonely. I texted and asked, and my mom says she was lonely. I say to David, ignoring the absurdity of the whole situation. Me sharing the intimate details of my family life with him, of all people, that we're sitting here in McCormick's, eating hamburgers in a purple vinyl booth, like in Almost Dates. That he looks like an ad from a magazine for boxer briefs, and I'm dressed again in my dad's shirt, making the same mistake twice. That I've listened to David in the first place, and broken my silence with my mother, and texted at his casual suggestion. That we keep talking about this concept of open loops, like everything can be fixed if we just put our collective brain power into it. He smiles like this is good news. That makes sense, he says. No, it doesn't, I say. Nothing makes sense. Sad to think about, though, he says, as though he didn't hear me. Being married and still being lonely. She's just making excuses for herself. Have you ever heard of twin prime numbers? God, shut up, David, David asks. I see him revving up to a new topic, and I can't decide if I want to go down this road with him. My mind feels mushy and overused. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. Skipping class, taking this long walk in the snow. I liked holding David's hand, though. The snow dampening on my face, letting my tears mix without anyone seeing. His fingers snug in mine. That was nice. His hand was heavier than I would have guessed. More solid. Like he could keep me from flying away. Ooh, what a nice metaphor. Nope, I say. I take a bite of hamburger. Think about Andy's obsession with the concept of mindfulness. She's always telling me it's important to be in here and now. To taste your food, to feel your breathing, to notice when you go from sitting to standing. Since her parents' divorce, her mother has gone total hippie. She takes Annie on meditation and yoga retreats and burns and incense in the house to get rid of bad energy. And whenever I go over there, she tells me all about her adrenal fatigue, as if those are words I understand put together. Of course that stuff has trickled down to Annie, and then out to me and Violet. And so I decide to be here in the now, whatever that means. I taste my burger. I really taste it. It's over ketchup and too pickly. The here and now is overrated. I let David fill our table up with conversation. His words like cartoon bubbles, taking up the space I can't seem to fill, which is a long way of saying he wants to talk prime numbers. So be it. Twin prime numbers are prime numbers that differ from each other by 2, like 3 and 5, or 41 and 43. But what's cool about them is that they still exist even as you go higher and higher, even though, as everyone knows, the gap between prime numbers grow higher the numbers get. Fun fact, unsolved conjecture, we don't know whether it goes up forever and ever. David is assuming things that we haven't proven, therefore David isn't as smart as he thinks he is. Of course, everyone knows that, I say. Right. So it's this strange, wonderful phenomenon. What does that mean? I was lonely and stupid? My mother is the smartest person I know. And I say that while I'm sitting across the table from David Drucker, who scored the highest on his PSATs of anyone in the tri-state area. Doofenshmirtz. Though my mother rarely lets her nerd flag fly, when she does, her brain is a phenomenal thing. I wonder if that's why Jack liked her. Wait, was it like or was it love? Did Jack love her? Does he love her? Are they going to get married, and Evan and Alex will become my stepbrothers, and we'll go on family vacations all together again, and we'll pretend that it's not weird we found ourselves in this new, previously unfathomable combination? Will we pretend that my dad never existed in the first place? I'm not sure what prime numbers have to do with anything, I say in a gentle voice. Prime numbers have to do with everything. But to clarify, that's what I imagine falling in love is like, and then staying married. You start out as low twin primes, and then as time goes on, if you manage to defy the statistical odds and not get divorced, you become like those rarer twin primes, still only separated by 2. That's an amazing feat. How romantic, I say sarcastically, because to me, the idea of falling in love, admittedly something I've never had the pleasure of experiencing, has nothing to do with prime numbers or mathematics or even quantum mechanics. It's more like music or art or poetry, something awe-inspiring and beautiful, maybe even surprising, like how I used to see my parents' relationship. It actually is super romantic. David looks down and fiddles with his straw. I think he's blushing, which makes me blush, even though I have no idea what he's talking about. Of course, when a good-looking guy uses the word romantic in all seriousness and blushes, whatever the context, even if you are talking about prime numbers, you're going to blush too. It's reflexive. It doesn't mean anything. I just thought like maybe your parents were prime numbers that were drifting apart. And that's why your mom felt lonely, because her twin was too far away. Maybe, I say, not able to share his sympathetic views. I don't think my mother was lonely. She was just selfish. Or even worse, horny. Ew. I'm seriously feeling ill. Feeling ill. Is that why you were crying? Because of your mom and dad? David asks. I haven't quite gotten used to this about him. As if the only way to go is straight through. And of course, there's a flip side to David's directness. I don't really want to talk about my crying. It's just a lot of things. Whoa. Oh, you look beautiful even when you cry. I mean, not that you don't look beautiful when you're happy. Of course you're beautiful all the time. But out there in the snow, you were stunning. My stomach tightens and I let out a little laugh. No, more like a gasp. What are you supposed to say when a guy says you are beautiful? This has never once come up. My body warms and buzzes with his words. Dit. My mind is racing. McCormick's is a good place. They sell milkshakes and have a little sign discouraging you from talking on your cell phone. I like sitting here with David, basking in his undeserved compliments. Thanks, I say, finally, after what feels like a long time in which I've been trying to think of what to say next. Thanks for that. You're welcome. He jumps up, reaches out for my hand, and I let him take it. Now let's go check out the place your dad died and close that loop. Oh my god. Over the course of the 3-block walk, I think of and abandon at least 5 different excuses to turn around. I never really meant it, seriously, I tell myself. I never had any intention of embarking on what David has named the Accident Project. For David, obviously, this is nothing more than some sort of equation or a puzzle to be solved. Another one of his open loops to close. He can't tell that I'm sweating, or even that it's freezing out, or that I feel dizzy with fear. And then I see the intersection of Plum and First. This corner is on the way to the grocery store, to the ballet classes I took until 3rd grade, to Violet's house, to Star Punjab, a million other landmarks of my childhood. The playground where Kenny Kibblewitz kissed me on the lips as part of a dare when we were 10. The park where, on many Sunday mornings when I was little, my dad and I would set up a picnic blanket and have a tea party with my teddy bears, while my mom slept in and caught up on her beauty rest. Here it is, this intersection, looking as innocuous as pops as always. No shattered glass, no flowers to mark the spot. My phone dings, a text message, and I assume it's from my mother. I don't want to think about her, because thinking about her leads me to this inescapable fact. My dad did not die peaceful or happy with this place in the world. My dad died betrayed, minutes away from a freaking divorce filing. Right over there, right over there, right over there. X marks the spot with a circle and a dot. I pulled my phone out of my pocket with the hand not holding David's. A text will buy me some time. Thinking about my mom having sex with Jack is preferable to thinking about the fact that my dad was mutilated by a navy blue Ford Explorer. Pain, it turns out, has a hierarchy. Not my mother, after all. It's a text from Violet instead. In all caps, 3 exclamation points. Weird. Annie's the text screamer among us. The one who deploys the excessive punctuation for no reason. I'm hungry, she'll write, or my shoes are killing me, ah! Violet prefers all lowercase. Her text as dainty as her clothes. Violet, OMG, Kit, have you seen this? There's a link to someone's Tumblr. The Retard's Guide to Mapleview. Whatever. I don't need to read another one of my classmates' dumb offensive blogs. Last year, someone anonymously posted a How to Get the Ladies to Sex You guide, which was disgusting as it sounds. I decided not to click. Whatever. The snow makes this more complicated, David says, and drops my hand to reach into his backpack. He pulls out a measuring tape. There's something about the gesture, the fact that he brought a measuring tape to school, that brings more tears to my eyes. I wonder what else is hiding in his bag. I picture a compass and maybe a scientific calculator. I imagine he's fully prepared for the zombie apocalypse, just like my dad. I don't think it's failing that fast, so we can just measure its density once and take that into account. I have no idea what it is we're actually doing. What are we measuring? I think about the word density and suddenly don't remember what it means. The report I said your dad died at 6:52 p.m. Do you know if he died on impact? Because if you did, that can be the time we work back from. David's voice is flat, dimensionless. I'm not sure this is a good idea. I say it out loud, which has been repeating in my head. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. And also this. Run, run, run. Let's not do this. David turns and looks me up and down. I'm trembling from head to toe. This is hard for you, he says matter-of-factly, as if it's just occurring to him. Yes, I say. It's just a place. If you want, I can pull up our coordinates. That way it's not even a place, he says. And then he does it. He gives me our location based on latitudinal and longitudinal measurements. If my ears weren't whooshing, my stomach wasn't pulled tight into my throat, I'd laugh. If you don't want to do this, we don't have to. But I don't like that you aren't sleeping. We need sleep for our bodies to function efficiently. He died afterward, not in the car, at the hospital, I answer, and match his tone. Clinical detachment. Maybe I can do this, and not shatter like the Volvo's windshield. And if I don't break, I like to think that I have a chance of getting better, or at least closing my eyes at night and not opening them again until morning. Maybe there's a good reason we are doing this. Answers. I could use some answers. Let's not work by time, then. Let's figure out where the car had to have stopped before you would have been a collision. Would that be okay with you? I don't answer. We are now at the corner, staring at the middle of the intersection. There are no cars around. If I wanted to, I could walk right into the center of the road. There's nothing there. Just some trash dancing in the wind. We're missing a bunch of variables, but I think we can make reasonable estimations. I am going to throw up, because it's replaying right in front of me as if I were watching it live. The screeching of tires, an explosion of blue, everything turning black, the smell, oh God, the smell. I'm sorry, I can't, I say, and turn around and put my hand over my mouth. I bite back the bile. No, I do not want to throw up in front of David. I will not display my digested burger on the pristine snow. Still, the trembling is getting worse, and the nausea curdles into vertigo. The world starts to spin, and the ground begins to undulate. Like I've stepped into a 3-dimensional funhouse mirror. I need to get out of here, now. If you want, I can do the math without you, he says, but to my back. Because I'm already running, slipping in on the wet ground, hurling myself as fast as I can to get away. This is very strange. Alright, this is chapter 16.